Move to accept. Isn't that pretty? That is so pretty. I love that song. Okay, so we encourage you, if you have an announcement, to send it to Lori for this week, okay, because we won't be doing announcements right now. And thank you, Lori, for all the work that you do, from publishing the newsletter and maintaining the website and sending out those exciting e-blasts. Yay! Next week, as part of our pre-Thanksgiving tradition, our UUSC rep, Robert Wilkinson, will present a UU Service Committee update. So let's take a moment to still our hearts, quiet our minds, and center ourselves. Our opening words of this morning for our 17th annual congregational meeting, might be 18th, depending on how you're counting. So good morning to everyone at our annual congregational meeting. As we gather today, we are reminded of the deep roots that bind us as a community and the shared vision that continues to guide us, whether you've been with us for many years or are newly joining us. Your presence today reflects the values we hold dear, values of love, justice, and a commitment to creating a more compassionate world. This meeting is not just a moment to reflect on the year past, but an opportunity to renew our collective purpose and set our intentions for the future. We are here to celebrate our successes, learn from our challenges, and together chart the path forward. I invite you to be fully present, engaged, and open as we carry our shared mission into the next chapter of our life together. Thank you for being here and for the role you play in making our community a beacon of hope and transformation. Let us begin. Maria will light our chalice here in the sanctuary. Those of you at home are invited to light your own chalice now. As we light this chalice today, consider that during times of uncertainty, we need to ramp up community. We need to be here for each other. You need to be here for me. I will be here for you. That's what love is about. Thank you. Before we sing the first hymn, let me remind our remote participants to leave yourselves muted. However, we want you and whoever is with you to sing with us as big and loud as you like. Make it a joyous experience. Please stand in body or spirit and sing Blue Boat Home, 1064. Okay.
Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been saved. wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun my sail and moon my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home.
Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist community of Cambria. We're glad you have joined us today. Our UUCC sanctuary sits on land that the Salinan and the Chumash indigenous peoples historically inhabited. We honor their contribution to this region and give thanks for the opportunity to gather in faith on their unceded territory. Let us respect their legacy and protect their history as we occupy the sacred space. As Unitarian Universalists, we celebrate religious diversity and welcome all who journey in search of faith and spirituality. The UUCC is a lay-led congregation, in case you couldn't tell, run by the democratic process. We invite speakers from different religious traditions and spiritual or scientific backgrounds, as well as community leaders, to speak at our pulpit. We encourage presentations covering a variety of topics and areas of interest that connect with the UU 7 principles and 6 values. Let's see if we all remember our new values of Jet Pig. Remember that? Okay, shout out the value when I say the letter. J. Justice. E. Equity. T. P. Pluralism. I. That's a tough one, huh? Tough one. Let's do that one again. I. Okay, G. Okay, all right, we got that down. Okay, with love at the center. Okay. Today's service, though, it centers around the 5th principle. We affirm and promote the right of conscience and the use of the democratic process within our congregations and in society at large. My name is Dolores Miera, and I am your president presiding over this combined Sunday service and our annual congregational meeting. Hi, Dolores. I didn't want to disappoint you. Okay. This is a shout-out kind of service today. Okay. We extend a special welcome to today's guests and visitors. We're glad you joined us this morning. If you wish to please introduce yourself or your guest. Would you like to introduce yourselves? No? Okay. We have a couple of folks over here. Okay. And Treva's here. She's kind of a guest every once in a while. She shows up. If you are not on the mailing list, please visit the UUCC website at uuccambria.org so that we can keep you informed about all of our activities. Members and friends, please check out what's happening and the e-blast sent to you every week. This is a great way to keep up to date with our latest news. To see this or any of the past Zoom services, the recordings can be found on the UUCC website. So how many of you been on to the website to see a past Zoom service? Oh, so this is good. Okay, this is really good. So that all those lectures that I gave, if you missed one, you can still see it. Okay, so again, good morning and welcome to everyone. Good morning. So what's happening today? So we're going to have some introductions of your current Board of Trustees and committee chairpersons, and then a bird's eye view of what the Board of Trustees decided this year. We'll have the annual Sermon on the Amount by Diane DeMarco, and then the real fun and important stuff, the Treasurer's Report, and the 2026 proposed budget by Janet Cooper. Then you'll want to know what we have planned for next year by the committee chairpersons who will enlighten us as to their plans. And again, it's a short presentation, right, so that they can get it out there. We have some closing words by Janet Cooper, and then on to voting, run by Art Gillingham, head of the NEC Committee, Nominations and Election Committee. Then, brunch! Okay, so do me a favor before you leave today. Please tell one person you're sitting near or talking with what you like about them. Okay, that's your work today. Okay, thank you. So, let's see. You gotta go? Yeah. Randy, do we have the slide? Yeah, okay, right, okay. So this is your current Board of Trustees, me as President, Vice President Nancy Tolan, Treasurer is Janet Cooper, Secretary is Andy Fagan, and members at large are Sue Davis, Anita Hubsher, and Ted Key. Let's give a little round of applause. They have been absolutely, okay, thank you. And let's do the committees. On to the committee chairs, okay, we have a lot of committees and we have a lot of people participating, and these are just the chairs. These are not all the people in there. So if you want to belong to something, here they are. So let's just, the audio visual is Andy Fagan. This took it out of order, okay. The Caring Committee, Margaret Biggs, also known as Margot. Oh, yeah, he did that. Yeah. Okay, Covenant is Diane DeMarco. The Finance Committee is Janet Cooper. Membership, Diane DeMarco. Music, Mary Schwalbe. Operations, Sue Davis. Religious Education, Andy Fagan. Social Environmental Justice, Catherine Lakick. And Highway Cleanup, Sue Davis and Ted Key. Slow Food Bank Distribution, Janet Cooper. Moving Toward Racial Justice, Nancy Tolan. And Scholarship is Maria Rao, and the UUSC rep, Robert Wilkinson, and worship, Randy Schwalbe.
Dolores, we forgot Julia.
Well, she's not the chair. These are the chairs. So if we've forgotten your name because you're a dedicated member, we didn't overlook you. Okay, yeah, we appreciate all your work, right. And the landscaping's kind of not on there, which is Judy Butler, and the men's group and the women's group, Diane's the women's group, and Andy's the men's group. And some of those weren't listed on there. And the hiking committee. Oh, not a committee, right? Janet Cooper. So these are the current committees, and if you want to belong to one, please just ask anybody in the congregation, and we can steer you to the right people. Because without these committees, we wouldn't be here today. I can tell you that, right? It isn't the board. But what did the board do? My little blurb on the board. Every year, I invite all committee chairs to visit a board meeting to share what their committee concerns or needs are. Most come and share with us to help us be updated. This year, the board decided not to do background checks, maybe for the financial team and the BOT, which is Board of Trustee members, but we'll want to discuss that with the congregation more. And the BOT said no to auditing the financial records. We did not feel it necessary, but we considered it for our due diligence. always available to do that. We're going to leave Facebook due to their political positions and corporate policies. Again, Andy Fagan assumed the position of calendar person. So if you have something that needs to get on the calendar, see Andy. And here's our real claim to fame this year, the board. We updated our members area on the website with the current monthly minutes that get posted after they're accepted by the BOT, Board of Trustees. Then the current monthly financials after they are accepted by the BOT. And the bylaws, and we're going to get a copy of the covenant there soon. I didn't see that on there, but we have one, and you'll hear about it later. We opened a brokerage account actually last year to invest in some treasury bonds to get some interest on our excess funds, better than the 14 cents per year we were getting. Okay. We removed a lot of old documents from the website. And I want to remind everyone that the member directory is in the member section. And do you all remember the magic password to get into that? Yes. Yeah. Okay, there you go. Okay. Okay. It's a secret, so that's why I won't say it right here out loud because it's on Zoom. Okay. And you can print out that for your reference, right? So that member directory. Print that out so you have it available to call somebody if you need to. And we added volunteer opportunities to the back of the pledge form. Do you notice that on your pledge form? There's most of everything we have to get involved with here at UUCC. Nancy Tolan and Janet Cooper produced a liability form that should be signed by those participating in off-site events like hiking. Which can be found with the forms in the members area. So be sure to start looking at that website, you know. So we need new pictures of current people and activities on the website. So if you have some pictures with an activity you're involved with other members here at UUCC, pass it on to Andy and we'll get it on the computer in the front room and hopefully on our website. And so now, it's time for the Treasurer's Report. Please welcome Janet Cooper. Yay!
You all appreciate Edward Gorey. Okay. In the invitation to today's brunch, the Treasurer's Report was playfully described by Diane as like a suspense novel, but with spreadsheets. Will there be a plot twist? You'll have to come and see. Well, in the spirit of this challenge, I give you the shadowed ledger. The room was draped in shadows and silent. Outside the study window, fog tendrils snaked mysteriously through the Monterey pines. I opened the UUCC ledger, its pages filled with figures and transactions that held the key to what had transpired over the past year. The balance sheet revealed a delicate balance, assets lurking in the shadows, liabilities hidden in the corners of the accounts. Cash flow was good, but I knew better than to trust appearances. Beneath the surface, a riddle awaited. Where will the funds to support the 2026 budget truly come from? Who will contribute to the continued health and vitality of the UUCC? Darkness descended over my desk as the power went out again. Suspense built as I discovered the generous pledges secured this past year, victories in the campaign against financial chaos. Yet lurking in the details of the proposed 2026 budget was the growing fear. Will our new pledge campaign meet the challenge? As I turned the last page and closed the dusty ledger, I shut my eyes and dreamt of a future where the UUCC continues to offer quality Sunday services, expanded community outreach programs, and opportunities for members and friends to experience personal growth and spiritual nourishment. The story was far from over. Okay, thank you. And now for the real Treasurer's Report. Next slide, please. Next slide. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Okay, here we go. Okay, so here on the screen, we have a condensed version of the 2026 proposed budget compared to the 2025 budget. The state of the UUCC finances is excellent. We have received over 90% of all 2025 pledges and have successfully kept the expenses well within our budget. We are hoping to fund an additional $8,000, as you can see here bottom right, for church functions and community outreach. So our goal is to raise just over $58,000 in 2026 pledges. Just briefly, because this will be gone into more detail with some of the committee chair presentations, the increases involve both new committee requests for additional funds and inflationary rises in overhead. Expenses affected by inflation are mostly listed under congregational life and operations, and they cover such things as association dues, utilities, telephone, subscriptions, repairs, AV maintenance, monthly cleaning, and other costs that are necessary to maintain our sanctuary. The substantial increase in worship and music budget is due to the financial team's request to increase the compensation paid to our 2 musicians. At the moment, they each receive $500 per month for the tremendous amount of work and effort they dedicate to incorporating music into our services. In our humble opinion, they do a stellar job and certainly deserve better compensation. So we are asking that the congregation approve and support their monthly compensation, raising their monthly compensation to $700 a month. Yeah. The other large increase is the $1,000 in the Social Justice Committee's 2026 request, and that's intended to raise the congregation's dedicated support for the student scholarships from $6,000 to $7,000. So one last note before I leave you, hopefully to solve our 2026 budget mystery. UU congregations are not financially supported by our national organization, the UUA. Every congregation is independent and self-directing, both in regards to our finances, our programs, and our operations. Although this gives us a lot of freedom to create our own version of a UU church, it is also a big responsibility to continue to fund our growing community. Please consider giving a generous pledge to help support the UUCC, and let's get this mystery solved. Thank you.
That's not Rebecca, that's Margaret.
Yeah. So I'm Margot Biggs, and about 5 or 6 months ago, I volunteered to be the chair of the care committee. It was a little bit of a slow start, but this month we got busy with Judy Butler's fall and Claude Albanese's illness with COVID and pneumonia. I set up, there's a website called Meal Train where people can go on and offer to bring meals, or, for example, who was it? Somebody offered to go to the grocery store for Claude and his daughter Bryn, and you can put it in the calendar, you know, the day you'd like to bring a meal over. It also gives me a place where I can put in details of what's going on with that individual, and you know, an address and what time they'd like you to deliver the food and such as that. So it's a great resource, and then I send the link to people on the care committee. So that's worked out nicely. I do want to point out that sometimes you're delivering food not necessarily to the individual, but in the case of Claude, for example, he lives with his daughter and her wife, and it just so happened that Bryn was overwhelmed. Her wife has an operation going on. I mean, she was just beyond overwhelmed. So unfortunately, Claude was in the hospital longer than expected, and for example, I took a meal the other night, and Claude was still in the hospital. I didn't know it, but they needed the food, and having been a caretaker for a long period of time myself, you need to take care of the caretakers too. So that's it. There's no real necessity for the budget. I mean, I bought a $20 flower bouquet for Judy, and you know, it's nice. You know, they're stuck at home, but anyway, any questions? That's all I can think of. But just more than anything, cards. You know, we encourage people to send cards. We encourage people to visit people that are sick or injured, a little bouquet of flowers, cards. It goes such a long way. And then, of course, good, healthy meals. So, and also Julia, for example, went to the grocery store. Wasn't it you, Julia? Oh, it was, oh, okay. Somebody went to the grocery. It was Anita. Okay, so I think that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, also, Margot, also driving, offering to drive.
Yeah, oh, thank you, Marcia. Yeah, offering to drive people. That was, yeah, Sue?
So your list is just the caring committee right now? Are there other people that want to get on that list? Do you-
Oh, thanks for telling me to ask that. Anybody want to get on the list? I mean, yeah, let me know. It's, even just an occasional drive, like Judy. I guess she's a past member, Chris Fox. Chris Fox has been a huge help. And Marcia, who only lives here part of the year, yeah, she took her to the hospital twice. Judy, for example, went to the hospital 5 or 6 times in 1 week, something crazy. Yeah, and she had complications because her sinuses started bleeding. And so yeah, driving is very helpful. And
Okay,
well,
thank you.
thank you.
I'm here for the covenant report. A covenant is a promise. We walk together in love, to speak with kindness, to listen even when it's hard. Covenant is what lets us stay in relationship even when we disagree. This is how we protect our community from unnecessary hurt. This is how we make room for all voices, even the quiet ones. Covenant is how we practice our faith in real time. How to get beyond the single biggest problem we have, which is living with the illusion that communication has taken place. Now, I know that practicing the covenant can sometimes feel uncomfortable. When our communication is unclear, avoided, or emotionally loaded, we need to practice our covenant. When we assume motives instead of asking questions, we need to practice our covenant. When we assume motives instead of, when we are reactive to being too accommodating, not wanting to feel uncomfortable with working things out, or even fear conflict, we need to practice our covenant. Covenant helps you expand your horizons and evolve. So let's keep practicing, especially when life gets messy or tempers rise. The covenant isn't a rule book. It's a living reminder of who we aspire to be. May we keep turning our hearts towards harmony, one conversation and one act of kindness at a time. Do we have the covenant? We're going to recite it together. By being a member of the Unitarian Universality of Cambria, I agree to strive to be in a healthy relationship with my fellow congregants. In my interactions with others, I will create an open and inclusive environment where community service thrives and loving relationship can blossom. Encourage open and honest expression of ideas and feelings, and be mindful of well-being of the congregation above my personal preferences. Listen compassionately with an open mind for understanding. Recognize that positive relationships are at the core of successful community. Accept responsibility for my own actions. Reflect upon my own behavior and consider changing myself as the healthiest way for loving relationships to develop. Celebrate and value differences between us. Speak the truth honestly and directly with care and compassion. Act with integrity. In order to achieve these goals, I will strive to Understand the intentions in those with whom I disagree. Acknowledge another person's point of view. Understand that disagreements can be opportunities for growth. Avoid triangulation. Communicate directly with one another to resolve conflict. Agree to disagree without animosity. Seek connection and reconnection even when hurt feelings have been experienced. Work through relationship conflicts conscientiously with the goal of a win-win solution. Recognize that anger is a normal human emotion, but abuse will not be tolerated. Honor my covenant vow by not reacting in kind to negative reactions or unkind behavior. Practice these covenantal behaviors in order to make respectful behavior the norm. Practicing is what it's all about. It's living and breathing the covenant. Thank you.
Good morning. Wow, a lot of nice-looking faces out there, yeah. Okay, this is like a Mensa quiz. Can you figure out which name on there is not qualified to go through those gates?
Randy.
You win the prize. You get a free lunch today. All right, but this is our worship committee, and this is Judy Butler, Andy Fagan, Don Howell, Jan Bissara, Mary Schwalbe, and Julia Stannard, and I'm the chair, Randy Schwalbe. And we meet every fourth Monday at 4:30 online. And again, as I always announce, you're welcome to join our meetings if you wish. And what we do at those meetings, we start with evaluating the previous month's services. And it's a very lively and interesting discussions. I should have recorded them so you can hear them. But oftentimes when somebody does really well, Jan says 4 stars. And most of the time, we have 4-star performances going on up here. Occasionally, not so many stars, but we evaluate and check it out. And if somebody doesn't really do a great job, we will consider giving that person a second chance type of thing. It might have been that day or whatever. But most of the time, we like to have people who've spoken of here to come back. And then after we review, and then we also talk about technical things too as well. And also for those of you who are doing WA duty, you get a consideration as well. WA is a worship associate. So that's the function, like the quote, an MC of a service. But since we don't have a minister here being lay-led, we do it that way. And speaking of which, you may notice that our services are pretty well structured, and they have to be structured because we are lay-led. Otherwise, it would just be chaos. However, we have gone through great lengths to adjust this WA script so that it has just the right amount and no more of the structure stuff. So you'll hear the same thing every week, but we have to say those things. And the rest of it's really up to the worship associate to make it his or her own personal venture. We would like to have that person's personality and values incorporated into the script itself. So we have that kind of flexibility, and I think it's been really good. The other thing that's been really terrific is the land acknowledgement and how the worship associates have gone to lengths to research and share with us really fascinating things that never knew that was out there. So this is all very good and been very positive. The other thing about then we could talk about the upcoming schedule. That's a challenge, trying to keep a 3-month window. I have January only half filled right now. And I think I have December 14th figured out. But it's a constant effort year-round. Okay. What's that?
Yeah.
What?
She's doing December 14th.
Oh, that's right. Jan's doing December 14th. Thank you.
What you might mention is that we're asking for more budget so we can.
Oh, yeah, we're going to do that.
Outside
Okay.
speakers.
Right. So, so we go through the speaker schedule and come up with brainstorm ideas, etc. And then after that, other business that we discuss to make our services even better. We're always improving. So continuous improvement. That's what I promoted where I worked at Boeing. Anyway, as Mary just mentioned, regarding the budget, we've decided to up the ante for the honorarium for our speakers. So I think I have it right. $300 for external speakers who are not of the ministry, and then those who are with the ministry is $400 or $450. I forgot. I think it's 400. Yeah, it's 400. So 300 for non-minister types, and then 400 for those who are of the clergy, and that's what we offer them. Now, when I say external speakers, that is those who are outside the circle of members and friends. Okay, so that's how we work that. Okay, so we're going to, and that was a big part of our budget line item increase. Okay, and the last thing I want to mention. Oh, by the way. We have really terrific meetings. Okay, they're very productive and very positive, and all the stuff that we talk about covenant, it's all in play. I mean, so do a great job. Thank you, committee members, for a great job that you do. Okay, now one last thing, and again, is when I talk to somebody about what we do, and they say, "Really, you don't have a minister?" And I said, "No, we have to find a speaker every Sunday." So I did a chart, and I shared it with the board of directors when I was giving my spiel, and I couldn't find that chart. I was really despondent, so I can't show it to you. But over the past 3 years, there's been a trend. Okay, we used to have a balance of 26 external, 25 or 26 internal, but that trend has been shifting. So we have lots more internal and much fewer. I mean, we're down to like 15 external speakers, and to make up for the internal stuff, we used to spend the month of August doing sermons written by other people. Well, we dispensed with that this year, and we ended up, instead of doing 4 Sundays of other people's sermons, we did 8 Sundays. So that helps fill things. Then Dolores did a series on the values.
Great job.
The 6 values. So yeah. And that really saved my bacon. Actually, it was 7 because of love. So 7 Sundays right there off the bat, taken care of. However, again, it's still an ongoing battle. And so what I'm asking, and this is just something that would be really easy to do. I did it this morning. It took me less than 5 minutes. So instead of going through all your TikTok videos and whatever else you watch, just spend a moment and go online and just pick a state, any state, and then on that state, type in UU and the name of that state, hit and enter, and then a whole bunch of UU churches or fellowships or whatever will show up, and just select one at random, open it up, and look at their website. And in many cases, you'll find a place where they list sermons, whether it's that day or upcoming or for a whole month, and they have the titles and the blurbs just the same way we do it. And you look at that and say, and if something jumps out at you and says, wow, I'd be interested in hearing about that, send me the note, and I'll take it from there. Okay, and what I will do is get in touch with that congregation, namely the reverend, and say, gee, would you like to speak to us and deliver that sermon to us, especially if they're in a different time zone. And they say, yes, great, we have a new speaker. And if they say no, I'll say, can we get a copy of that sermon and recite it in our service? And most cases, they're going to say, okay. So again, think of it this way. There's about 10,000 sermons out there every Sunday that we could actually have access to. So in your spare time, just do that, and it would take 5 minutes. And then if something, again, don't just pick anything. Pick something that says, whoa, wow, you'll know. And then send that to me, and I'll take it from there. Okay. Okay, that's it. All right.
So based on your earlier comments, it seemed, I mean, when Janet was talking about the Treasurer's report, you already value what we do for you, and you know that we're worth our weight in gold. But I wanted to just give you a little idea of what we do. We were talking about it this year, and we figured between the two of us, we spend 25 hours a week on music. I interact with all of our speakers. Don't select hymns. I coordinate with them to bring you the best music that's most appropriate to what they're speaking about. I make contact. I make suggestions of individual hymns. I work with them on what they're suggesting. I go out and find the music. If we have to learn something new, I send it to Jan. And this year, we had the congregation subscribe to the new virtual hymnal, so we're starting to learn new songs, which is a lot of fun. And Jan, every week, she prepares a wonderful offering piece. Sometimes I make a wild suggestion based on the topic for that week, and she'll say, okay, or she'll say, how about this instead? And the prelude. So she does beautiful music, and we already know you appreciate it. So instead of speaking any more, I thought maybe we'd sing another new hymn from our new hymnal, okay? Okay. No.
I can add to that.
Okay.
Yeah. I am amazed at the music that Mary does come up with, how relevant it always is. So don't think she just goes, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, let's do this. She really, really thinks about the lyrics and what the message of the service is. And she's spot on. So it is amazing. So thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you all. So now we're going to learn another new song. So I think we will sing the first verse, and then we're going to go back and we're going to start and sing, 'cause it's very short. We're going to sing the whole thing again, so you'll get to sing the first verse with us, but we'll sing it first. So. We join in singing together, my voice but one part. And while we're singing together, beating as one heart, somebody hears the singing, how the singing wakes up and shakes up the soul. And pretty soon there is another voice singing, and another part of the whole. Now everyone from the top. We join in singing together, my voice but one part. And while we're singing together, beating as one heart, somebody hears the singing, how the singing wakes up and shakes up the soul. And pretty soon there is another voice singing, and another part of the whole. Join in working together, my hands for one part. And while we're working together, beating as one heart, somebody sees the working, how the working wakes up and shakes up the soul. And pretty soon there are some other hands working, and another part of the whole. We join in growing together, my dream but one part. And while we're growing together, beating as one heart, somebody feels the growing, how the growing wakes up and shakes up the soul. And pretty soon there is another dream growing, and another part of the whole. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello from my hotel room in Chicago. Outside it's a sunny, balmy 40 degrees. We've made a lot of improvements to our AV system, which is basically a broadcast center at this point. Originally created to provide multi-platform services during the COVID shutdown, we keep working to make the sanctuary experience as good as possible, as well as the online experience as good as possible. Some of the recent improvements we've made, we've purchased 2 new laptops, replacing very old ones that had grown obsolete. We replaced our old 8-channel mixer, audio mixer, with a far superior one that is on loan from Cooper Sound, also known as Janet Cooper's basement. We've upgraded our internet network to increase the speed of our outgoing and incoming signals for better connection to our online presenters like me and our visitors. We've added a wireless microphone to the system which can be passed around during congregational circles so everyone can hear participants when they speak. We've revived our hearing assistive system for those who need a little help with audibility in the sanctuary. As Dolores mentioned, we have a new computer out in the foyer that's displaying photographs from our history and our present, and we're always up for additions to those photos. Just send me an email with those attached. I've continually made improvements in how I edit the recordings of the services. Our online archive of services is a great resource and a record of our history, having grown to hundreds of recordings. If you haven't already, you should check it out. We even reconstructed the audio rack, getting rid of parts that were no longer in use, making access to the necessary parts much easier. In the future, we hope to add a 3rd camera, which will make the broadcast and the recordings better, and increase better lighting for those at the lectern so they can read their scripts more clearly. Last but not least, along with Randy and me, we are super fortunate that Julia Stannard has joined the AV team. And I know she's running the ship right now. So thank you, Julia. Thanks to all.
Okay, I have a list because operations does quite a lot of things, including we're in charge of the AV, which Andy spoke about. So here's my committee, and my Mike is home today with the sniffles, but he comes down sometimes and meets the plumber here quite often, so he's kind of active, even though you don't see him much around here. So let's see, make sure we've got everyone on there. Yeah. Julia comes occasionally to our operations committee, so that's nice. Thank you, Julia. We find often that operations committee people come when there's something they're interested in as well. So we want you to keep in mind what you can offer this committee, because we do a lot and we always welcome participation. So we also wanted to thank Judy Butler, because she's been doing that garden. And she's also been posting on Nextdoor many of our services, and that has turned out to be a really good advertising media, and we are in charge of advertising. Operations Committee is in charge of the use and maintenance of the facility. On the website, there is a facility use application, and we've worked hard on the guidelines, because we have to think about what fits into our UU mission for people that want to use our sanctuary and what fits into our insurance requirements. So people are welcome to submit a request to use the facility. This is above really the outside, the inside use that's used regularly, like the normal things like the men's group and the women's group, because those are already on the calendar. But what we have so far is we've had Green Space. We've been sharing our facility with Green Space. Mostly nonprofits is what we're looking for, nonprofits that fit into our mission. Next year we're going to add one group is going to use it once for a meeting, and it's the scholarship, Cambria Scholarship Committee. So they fit into our mission because they're raising scholarships. We don't actually rent out our facility. That would be against our nonprofit status rules. But what we do is we ask for a suggested donation to those outside groups that had come in and use our facility. It's also a community outreach. We have a lot, Green Space is really under that community outreach because we made a promise that we would use our facility for some community outreach like that. The applications for the use of the facility go through Operations Committee, so me as the chairman, and things to go on the calendar go to Andy. Andy, as our secretary of the Board of Trustees, is in charge of the calendar. So we also maintain the newsletter and the social media, and thank you for that, Lori. Lori keeps up with that.
Hey, Lori.
Yeah. Yep. We're in charge of advertising, and I've been noticing, like I said, how Judy Butler has been added to that. Thank you, Judy.
Thank you, Judy.
We're also in charge of all the fundraising, and Diane often steps into that position to organize that. So thank you very much for that fundraising. I believe that we added over $4,000, right, to that budget that Janet looks at and manages so well. So that was a good, that was the auction, the service auction. And that was really a good addition of funding. Thank you for all that. We also, in charge of security, and this is something we've been talking more of, and we always have plans for, you know, medical emergencies, fire, earthquake, things like that. And the AV person is our main person to go to for that. If you ever see anything suspicious or anything is bothering you, the AV person is the person that will look into that. So thank you.
What does that mean?
Sorry, audio-visual. I should say the audio-visual, because the audio-visual person is always there. They're in the back room. They have access to phones. They have access to looking outside if there's something, you know, going on outside, and inside too. They have the ability to get us help immediately if we need it. So we're always wanting everyone to be safe. So that's part of our job as well. And so this year we hosted Green Space. We will again next year. They're kind of partnershiping with us. They're speakers that come in for their series. We've hosted the Chamber Mixer, which is very important, we feel, to belong to the local Cambria Chamber of Commerce. So we do that and participate in their chamber mixes also. We participated in Earth Day, Gay Pride Day, and the nonprofit event that was held here in town. So part of our goal was to reach out more and become more known in the community. They've already spoken about the upgraded audio-visual, and we added Julia to our staff, so thank you again, Julia. Let's see, the goals for next year. We're going to update the brochure. There's an old brochure there, I meant to grab one, that has very old photographs in it, and it's our own UUCC brochure. So some of the photographs that come in for the website will also be used to update that brochure. And it takes a lot to organize a brochure. So if you have any ideas for that, let me know, and in the new year you can join our meetings, which are on Thursdays, the third Thursday on Zoom at 6 o'clock. And we may have some meetings in here too, in the second Thursday? Well, how about that? I'll have to look at my calendar. Okay, now, but I have a test. A test. A test for all of you. Who knows what this is?
That's a blanket, a fire blanket.
Well, our president knows. It is a fire blanket, and we're required by law to have this because we have live fire, right? So the WAS should know, the worship associates, should know that the fire blanket is right under here. And if there were to be an emergency up here for fire, yes, stop, drop, and roll, but this is the blanket that will suppress it quickly. And of course, anyone can use that, but this is really important. So now you all pass the test. You all know that it's there, and it won't end up in the closet again because nobody knows what it is. That's all I have to say. Thank you. Come and have fun with us.
Our religious education programs have continued to provide fulfilling and uplifting deeper dives into our spiritual explorations. The TED Talk discussion group, which meets the second Wednesday of each month at 4 p.m. on Zoom, has had sessions watching short videos and then discussing how they resonate. Most recently, at Anita's suggestion, we've spent 2 sessions listening to an interview with pop star Madonna, who shares parts of her deep and profound spiritual journey, and those talks have been really rewarding. The in-person book discussion group, which meets the last Wednesday of each month at 4 p.m. here in the sanctuary, has been a true joy. We are nearing the end of our second book, The Sources of Our Faith, and we'll be choosing a new book to explore in the next couple of months. These heartwarming discussions are a highlight of my month, during which our wonderful community has a chance to ponder the meaning of our faith and share the remarkable wisdom that resides within it. Speaking of that remarkable wisdom, I am thrilled that several members are contributing their experience and wisdom in some very special ways, several of which have become available through the services auction. 2 examples are Don Howell, who's been conducting gamelan playing sessions that have been very rewarding, I hear from the people who participate. And Kelly Tevan held a Dr. Zeus dinner at which several members read and discussed the profound significance of Theodore Geisel's wonderful creations. Those are just 2 examples. I know several more have been taking place. And in this lay-led congregation, such as these are a wonderful resource. And I encourage any of you who are interested in doing something like that, who are inclined to offer more, to please contact me. I will help arrange it, find a time, and help out with any of the technical needs you might have. So thank you once again.
Nice. Can everybody raise their hand who's on the committee? Yeah, and maybe some people missing, but I appreciate all of you, and everything I have to say right now, I'm sure this is in the way, is on behalf of, sorry people, thank you. On behalf of the Social and Environmental Justice, this is 5 minutes, and I'm doing Janet's blurb, so 6 minutes. The Slow Food Bank distribution in San Simeon has continued to grow over the past year and now served between 50 and 65 households with upwards of 200 individuals. The UUCC, working in conjunction with Cambria's Anonymous Neighbors, purchases food items not typically included in the Slow Food Bank offerings, such as dairy products, fresh produce, and dry goods. We can always use additional volunteers to help out during our monthly distributions, held on the 4th Tuesday of every month between 5 to 6 p.m. More volunteers, be great. This year we contributed $200 to the Stuff the Bus fundraiser that collects and distributes school supplies to students in needs, and we did that for the students of Cambria this year. Okay, as you know, we're gearing up to do the Thanksgiving baskets with Denilda Reyes of Link Family Resource Center. She's charged with helping the low-income families of Cambria, and she does this by making sure of their needs and that their needs are met. One of the things she has done for years is the Thanksgiving baskets. We got on board with her 10 years ago, and we have enhanced those baskets exponentially over the years. $1,300 has been set aside from church funding to make this happen. Thank you very much that I don't have to do the fundraising anymore. We run a very smooth operation. Chris Fox is my main help. Her primary interest has always been food insecurity. She and I will do the shopping on the 23rd, and we will meet at the grammar school on the hill at 10 o'clock on the 24th. So we ask that you bring unexpired food items of any kind or unopened household products between 10 and 11 on the 24th to the grammar school on the hill. And if you can stay and want to assist, there will be a job for you. There's plenty to do. Thank you very much. Okay, community outreach. I have gratefully spent the $600 allotted from the church fund on items that the homeless can use. By the way, my son was homeless 3 times over the last 15 years, and so this is close to my heart, you know. Here's an example of the bags that we have prepared. My granddaughters helped me with this. This is a man's bag, socks, boxers, flashlights, antibiotic cream, disposable washcloths. Feel free to take a look. Here's the women's bag. And then this is an example of the no-cook food bag that we get as a nonprofit. We get 20 of these a month. So I just keep them in my car. You know, feel free to take a look at what's in there. It's good stuff. 1 day's worth of nutrition. From the government?
You get it from the government?
From the food bank.
Oh, okay.
The slow food bank.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, the homeless situation in Cambria has changed. Many people that literally lived under the bridges have gone to be closer to the eco shelters in Paso or Atascadero, where they can put their names on a list and hopefully and eventually get a roof over their heads temporarily or permanently, and they have access to showers and food there. Others have died, some have gone to jail, and Cambria has done a good job buttoning up the town to discourage more people from coming in. Right now, the Living Waters Christian Fellowship serves 6 to 8 unhoused people in town with their Saturday night hot meal outreach, and more at times they serve, depending on who comes through town, you know. I show up there with the clothing you have given me, and with the socks and the boxers that we've bought, and everyone has received a bag and will receive more items over the months. A couple of people on the Social and Environmental Justice Group, I think it was Diane DeMarco and Nancy Tolan, are willing to bring a dessert down once a month, and I'm just really forever grateful for that connection. That means a lot to me. I'll be in touch to organize that. Any overflow of clothing, by the way, I take to Mitchell Park on Sundays and give them away during the hot meal outreach they have there once a week on Sunday. Anybody's invited to any of these things, just talk to me. Okay, I just want to add some human interest, okay? The transient population or travelers are close to my heart. I'm literally intrigued by them. You know, coming from a grateful but at times bound and burdened feeling, I wonder at the freedom that they possess in certain ways. So I spot them and I pull over. The clothing I receive from you and the larger community and the no-cook food bags that we get from the food bank are always in my car. The last person I assisted was a young black man clearly disconnected from our world. Christopher was his name. His hair was dreaded. He had a long, warm, but dirty beige sweater on. It reached his knees, and it covered pants that were clearly falling off his body. He wasn't disconnected enough not to know that he needed pants. So he waited for me in the park till I went home and brought a pair that might fit him. He took them, never saw him again. Then there was Envio a while back. He was from Honduras, walking across Highway 46, headed for Colorado to live with his brother. The man had no things, no money, no idea, and no English language skills at all. He spoke a dialect and a bit of Spanish. He had a mouth full of unruly teeth, and I wondered when I saw him how his childhood and youth must have been with teeth like that. The man was walking on faith in God. He told me so. I gave him a ride to the Echo Shelter and showed him where the Mexican market was so that there were Spanish-speaking people that could be of assistance, but I often wonder what happened to him. Okay, sometimes I think these people were planted in our midst on purpose by a higher power, giving us the opportunity to help and connect, you know. So lastly, and the one that just really got me was Matthew. I'll never forget as a man that the community rallied for. He came in right before the atmospheric river that lasted for 3 days. He was walking around town looking like Jesus. He didn't speak at all the whole time, but we all knew what was coming. So I guided him over to the brambles overhang and set him up there with some bedding, brought him oatmeal and coffee in the morning. Every day he planted himself on the bench overhang across from Soto's True Earth, and people brought him things to eat and drink and other items, and for 3 days while it rained, people rallied for this man. I was touched. There was not going to be any calling of the cops during weather like that. So we took care of him, and when the rain stopped, he was gone as quickly as he had arrived. No telling how or why. The only thing left of him was his bedding and a few food wrappers and cigarette butts. It was truly so surreal. You know, I mean, there's no question in my mind that we all do something for someone else. You know what that is for yourselves, and I know what that is for a lot of you. But I have the opportunity to tell a story here, so I appreciate that, and I appreciate everything that you all do. Thank you.
Got to wipe the tears from my eyes. Oh. The Scholarship Committee. This past year, Dan Caldner and I served as co-chairs of the Scholarship Committee, and now after more than 10 years, Jan has stepped back. Please join me in thanking Jan for her service and leadership all that time. So for now, I'm acting chair until we meet next year to formalize committee roles. Our 7 other committee members are Rebecca Hendricks, Steve Nathanson, Robert Wilkinson, Tom Harris, Kathleen Conway, Marilyn Feeblecorn, and Patricia Taylor, a community member. I'm so grateful for your commitment throughout this year and for your willingness to contribute yet again to our intense 3-month process for choosing our scholarship recipients and celebrating them in June. Starting late January, we worked with high school counselors Samantha Brossette from Coast Union and Justin Gish from Leffingwell to download over 40 graduating senior scholarship applications submitted specifically to us. During early February, each committee member read, evaluated, and ranked those 40-plus applications, more than twice the submissions of any previous year. To evaluate the applications, we applied criteria that correlate to our UU values, and we particularly looked for evidence and awareness of social and environmental justice in a student's undertakings and future plans. Grades, character, references, and volunteer activities were considered as well. In late February, we met over Zoom to sort out the list and produce 8 to 10 as a preliminary cut. Then in March and April, members attended live interviews at both schools to further evaluate the applicants and finalize the list. While in past years the final list was pruned down to 6 or 8 deserving students, that limit was challenging this year. Through extended committee discussions, our list grew, and with fingers crossed, that $6,000 scholarship fund could be supplemented, we hoped. And thanks to very generous donations from the Oddfellows grants and community members, we were able to actually award 12 $1,000 scholarships. Yeah. 11 from Coast Union and 1 from Leffingwell. In 2026, since Leffingwell is closed, we'll work again with Coast Union. And as a first, we'll be awarding one of the scholarships to a graduating Salinan senior from San Luis Obispo County. Special thanks once again for the generosity demonstrated by our community members in making up the difference. Rounding out our work for the year, we informed our 12 recipients of their $1,000 award and invited them and their families to our Sunday awards service and luncheon in early June. Although Rebecca managed the sumptuous luncheon on less than $400, that was a shoestring budget, we are still requesting $400 because grocery cost might indeed increase. Jan created, produced, and led the award ceremony. The theme was based on the students choosing excerpts from 3 poems to share their reflections. Rudyard Kipling's poem, If, Beatitudes for Justice Builders by Lindy Ramsden, and Our Deepest Fear by Marianne Williamson. It was a brilliant display of the depth and promise that our recipients possess. Thank you, Jan and Rebecca, for an amazing celebration, and we hope Jan will be able to support our Sunday Awards service in some capacity. So regarding the allocation for the scholarship fund, because the 2026 graduating class is close to 40 and still much larger than most past years, we're asking for an increase of $1,000 to $7,000. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning again. Before I talk about the Sermon on the Mount, I will first bring you news from the membership committee. We now have 47 official pledging members. And we had 4 new members this year who bravely wandered in, liked what they saw, and decided to stay. Need I say more? And now the Sermon on the Mount. That was quick and brief, wasn't it? I'd like to start with a note from last year. This year, please remember where you set down your pledge form, because last year we found 2 of them in the hymnals and 1 inside the bathroom. Keep track of them. Please turn them in today or mail them in as well, either way. But before we talk about giving, let's take a moment to celebrate how generous you've already been. You've shown up with open hearts, open hands, and let's be honest, sometimes surprising donations when we least expected it. Because of you, we kept the lights shining, the music soaring, the Hanukkah candles burning, and the doors wide open to all who seek belonging. Now, I know pledging can sound about as thrilling as reorganizing your sock drawer. This place doesn't run on good intentions alone. Yes, it runs on love and light, but also your credit card. We also take cash, checks, and PayPal. And after all, we are spiritual beings having a financial experience. So thank you for giving what you can, with humor, with heart, and with a deep appreciation for the fact that a community like this one is so worth the investment. And the utility bills are due on the 15th. So give what you can. Give with the knowledge that this place only exists because you keep choosing it, and your pledge is what keeps it all going. Thank you for that. Amen. Blessed be, and may your pledge form be filled out before you forget where you set it down. Thank you.
Short invocation is also in our new hymnal. Words and music are by Michael Carney. As we offer these gifts and lift up our spirits, may the care in our hearts and the work of our hands lead us to greater service and love.
Well, now we get to have the fun part of the afternoon. Before we start this election process, I wish to recognize my committee mates, Rebecca Hendricks and Kathy Persinger, who enabled the NEC to accomplish its annual mission. Thank you. You're an awesome team. At this time, all active members should have a 2026 UUCC ballot in your hands. Officially, nominations are still open for the following positions on the board: President, 3 members at large, and all 3 positions on the Nominations and Elections Committee are open as well. So if I don't hear any further nominations from the floor, at this time, the nominations for the elections are closed. The following slate of candidates includes, for President, Don Howell. For members at large, Kelly Tevan, Kathy Persinger, and Tom Harris. Could you guys raise your hands, please, so we know who you are? Thank you all so much. And for Nominations and Elections Committee next year, we have Ted Key, Anita Hubischer, and Dolores Mira. And could you also raise your hands, please, so you can get recognized? And thank you all so much. All right, so since no position is being contested, I'm going to call on President Dolores Mira, to preside over a vote by acclamation. Dolores?
I want to first express gratitude for the hard work the Nominations and Elections Committee has done to prepare the slate. Thank you, Rebecca. Art and Kathy. I also wish to thank those who stepped up when asked to be nominated. Their names are on your ballot. I will now entertain a motion to adopt this slate of candidates for the 2026 Board of Trustees and NEC. Do I hear a motion?
Yes. So moved.
Okay, move. Okay, does someone second? Mary seconded and Wayne moved. All right, so all those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, opposed? Chirp, chirp. Okay, likely, so moved. Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you, Dolores. You will note on your ballots in Section B the two referenda. The first is to accept the proposed 2026 budget. The second is to select one or more recipients of the fourth Sunday collection each month. The top 4 vote getters will be recipients throughout 2026. So please mark 4 X's in any arrangement on the ballot. Note that there is a space for those 2 write-ins or a nonprofit of your choice. Cambria Anonymous Neighbors is a nonprofit, all-volunteer organization that provides transportation, medical equipment, and food distribution to those in need in our community. An excellent resource. The Cambria Connection is a community resource center serving families and individuals seeking solutions to the challenges of substance abuse and other addictions and related issues. Now, on your ballot, it was marked as the Cambria Food Bank, but actually it is the SLO, San Luis Obispo Food Bank, and that fights hunger by gathering and distributing food, engaging in partnerships that advance self-sufficiency, and by providing community leadership on issues related to hunger. 805 Indivisible strives to build a democracy that reflects a broad, multiracial, we the people, one that works for all of us and is sustained by all of us. Only then will we be able to achieve a progressive vision for the future. Green Space is a nonprofit organization dedicated to fostering green real estate and economic development in the National Capital Region, developing and implementing green policies and providing stewardship of our growing green communities. Head Start. I was a Head Start teacher, so I love this part. Head Start programs promote the school readiness of young children from low-income families by enhancing their cognitive, social, and emotional development. Homeless Animal Rescue Team, our next selection, provides a safe haven for neglected, abandoned, or abused animals and promotes compassionate and humane treatment for all animals. We are committing to ensuring quality of life to all these living individuals, both feral and domestic. The Salinan Tribe states that through our educational nonprofit organization, we educate the people of the Central Coast and the world about our connection to this land and the importance of protecting this special place for generations to come. So please vote now. When you are finished marking your ballot, fold it in half and hand it to one of the NEC members. The results will be announced during lunch. And I know you're all waiting for lunch. So shall we disband and then start having lunch, and we'll do our...
Does anyone need a ballot?
Does anyone need a ballot? Okay.
How about pens?
Yes.
Isn't that wonderful? All right, enjoy your lunch.
So thank you, Art, and the committee for doing everything. As we prepare to extinguish the chalice, let us recite the valediction. We have basked in the warmth and beauty of this flame and this community. As the chalice flame is extinguished, we shall carry its glow onward. Let us kindle new sparks within these walls and beyond. Okay, and our closing words will be by Janet Cooper.
Okay, well, normally we form a circle, but it's too difficult, so, yeah. So maybe, too dangerous. Just hold hands with whoever's in the vicinity. Okay, we're all good. Want to hold hands? She's good, okay. Well, our closing words were written by Amy Bowden-Freedom and Keith Crone. Become aware of the hands you are holding, their warmth, texture, and weight. These hands have wiped away tears, clenched in anger, waved hello and goodbye countless times, and embraced loved ones. And now these hands are the tangible link that connects us to one another. Look and see those around you who have experienced so much that is life. These hands have worked, are working, and will work to make the world a better place. Go in peace, go in love, work for justice. May it be so. And where the heck's lunch?